In a world that never seems to stop talking, the person who chooses to stay silent is often the most misunderstood. We live in a society that is obsessed with fitting in. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that constant social interaction is the only true metric of success. We are told that being a team player is the ultimate virtue, while those who prefer their own company are often labeled as antisocial, broken, or even lonely. But what if they have it all wrong? What if your deep-seated preference for solitude isn't a flaw that needs fixing, but a high-level competitive advantage that most of the population will never even comprehend? The lone wolf mentality is not about a hatred for humanity, nor is it about being a hermit hiding from the world. Instead, it is a form of selective intelligence. It is the conscious, deliberate decision to protect your energy and only invest it in environments that offer genuine depth and substance. While most people are terrified of being alone with their own thoughts, scrambling to fill the silence with noise, scrolling, or empty chatter, you have done something far more difficult. You have turned your mind into a sanctuary. This ability to exist peacefully in your own silence is a luxury that only the sharpest and most developed minds can truly enjoy. The first major advantage of this mentality is what we call emotional autonomy. Most people operate as emotional mirrors. They unconsciously reflect the moods, the dramas, and the anxieties of whoever happens to be standing next to them. They require a constant stream of external validation just to feel worthy of existing. The lone wolf, however, sources their strength from an internal well. Because you spend time alone, you have been forced to navigate your own psychological landscape. You don't panic when the world descends into chaos because your sense of self is not tied to the flickering opinions of the crowd. You are, quite literally, the architect of your own peace. Secondly, solitude breeds a level of strategic depth that is impossible to achieve in a crowd. While others are busy losing themselves in superficial gossip or the latest empty trends, your mind is operating at a much higher altitude. Solitude provides the essential mental space required for deep work, complex problem solving, and long-term vision. Think of the greatest figures in history, men like Carl Jung or Nikola Tesla. They understood that original, groundbreaking thought is only possible in a state of isolation. By stepping away from the noise, you gain the clarity needed to see the patterns that everyone else misses. Your solitude is where your greatest ideas are born and where your strategies are perfected before they ever meet the light of day. Thirdly, this mentality gives you the power of hyper-observation. Because you aren't performing for an audience or trying to fit a certain mold, you see the world as it actually is. You read intentions faster than anyone else. You notice the subtle shifts in energy, tone, and body language that others overlook because they are too busy talking. This makes you nearly impossible to manipulate. You aren't an easy target for dark psychology or social games because you've already analyzed the entire room before you even decided to enter it. Finally, your solitude acts as a filter for quality. You've seen too many masks and heard too many broken promises to trust easily. Your circle is small not because you lack options, but because your standards are simply too high for most to reach. You understand a truth that the crowd fears. It is infinitely better to walk alone than to follow a group heading in the wrong direction. If you find yourself thriving in the quiet, do not let the world tell you that you are lonely. You are not lonely, you are just powerful enough to stand by yourself, and that difference is your greatest edge. If this resonates with the fire inside you, type alpha in the comments and own your journey. Subscribe to keep sharpening your mental strength.